Hey, Jason here from Simply Swider. Is your LG washer throwing that frustrating T error code and shutting down mid-cycle? You're in the right place. I'm going to show you exactly how to fix it with 5 simple solutions. And the best part, most cost under $50 and can be done in your own laundry room. Before we get started, if you run into any questions, jump into our Facebook group. Links in the description. We've got thousands of people helping each other fix their appliances, and I pop in there daily to help out. Now let's talk about one of the most frustrating error codes out there, the TE code on LG washers. This little guy basically means your washer can't regulate the water temperature properly, and it's going to shut down the whole cycle until you fix it. Could be the thermistor, heating element, control board, or just some loose wiring. I'm going to walk you through 5 different fixes, starting with the simplest one that actually solves the problem more often than you'd think. All right, so before you start tearing into your washer and ordering parts, let's try the easiest fix first. Sometimes this TE code pops up just because something glitched during startup, not because anything's actually broken. I had this lady with an LG washer last month who was ready to call for service, but we tried this simple restart trick first, and boom, error code disappeared completely. Here's what we're going to do. This takes about 2 minutes and requires no tools. First, turn off your washer completely, then unplug it from the wall for at least 10 seconds. When you plug it back in, turn it on and keep pressing the spin button until you see no spin appear on the display. Let it drain out any water that's sitting in there, then restart your wash cycle. You can see me doing this right here on the screen. This works because it basically resets the washer's brain and clears out any temporary glitches. Way more common than you'd think. Probably fixes about 30% of these TE codes I see. Now, if that restart didn't work, we're looking at the thermistor, and this is the most common culprit. This little sensor sits at the back of your drum and tells the washer what temperature the water is. When it goes bad, your washer freaks out and throws the TE code. Here's the thing about thermistors. They're pretty cheap to replace, usually runs about 10 to 25 bucks, but once they're damaged, you can't repair them. You got to swap them out. First thing we need to do is test it to make sure it's actually bad. Turn off the washer, unplug it from the wall and drain any water. Remove the back panel with a screwdriver. You can see exactly where this thermistor is located on the screen right now. Carefully disconnect and remove the thermistor. It looks like a small sensor with 2 wires. Now test it with a multimeter set to ohms. At room temperature, you should get a reading between 50 to 200 ohms. If you're getting less than 40 ohms or an infinite reading, that thermistor is bad and needs replacing. When you install the new one, make sure it matches your exact washer model. These things are pretty specific to each machine. Moving on to the heating element, this guy works hand in hand with the thermistor to keep your water at the right temperature. When it fails, same result, TE, error code, and no washing getting done. I remember this customer, Layla, who'd already replaced her thermistor but was still getting the code. Turned out her heating element was shot. The heating element sits at the bottom of the drum, and replacing it's a bit more involved than the thermistor. You're looking at about 80 to 100 bucks for the part. Here's how we tackle it. You'll need a socket wrench set and about 30 minutes. Safety first, power off, unplug, and wait 10 minutes for any residual electricity to dissipate. Remove the back panel and locate the heating element at the bottom. It looks like a large metal coil. Carefully disconnect all electrical connectors. Typically, there are 3 to 4 of them. Use a small screwdriver to carefully pry out the old element, then install the new one and reconnect everything. The tricky part is making sure all those electrical connections are tight and secure. Loose connections here can cause the same TE error we're trying to fix. All right, so if we've tried the restart, replaced the thermistor, swapped the heating element, and we're still getting that TE code, we're probably looking at a bad control board. This is the brain of your washer. When it goes bad, all kinds of weird stuff happens. Control board replacement is definitely the most expensive fix we're talking about today. You're looking at 2 to 350 bucks for the part. Plus, it's a bit more complicated to replace. The control board is usually located inside the control panel or under the top panel of your washer. You'll need to remove the top panel, disconnect all the harness connectors, and carefully remove the old board. Here's where it gets tricky. You've got to be really careful with those connectors because they're easy to damage. When you install the new control board, make sure every single connector goes back exactly where it came from. This isn't really a DIY job for everyone. If you're not comfortable working with electrical components, this might be where you call someone like me. Last thing we need to check is the wiring itself. Sometimes it's not the components that are bad, it's just the wires connecting everything together. This happens more than you'd think, especially on older washers where vibration can work connections loose over time. You're looking for three things: loose connections, damaged wire insulation, or green corrosion on metal connectors. With the washer off, unplugged, and back panel removed, start with the thermistor connections. Gently wiggle each connector. It should feel snug and secure, not loose or wobbly. Look for any obvious damage like cracked insulation or corroded connections. If you find loose connections, just push them back together firmly. If you've got damaged wires, you'll need to strip the ends and reconnect them properly. Make sure you use electrical tape or wire nuts to secure the connection. Don't forget to check the heating element connections too while you're in there. Now you can see the most affected models displayed on the screen right now. While pretty much any LG washer can develop the TE error code, I've noticed certain model lines seem more prone to it than others. The LG Trom series, especially the front-load steam washers, seem to have thermistor issues more frequently. These units you're seeing here are the ones I get called out to service most often for this exact problem. What's interesting is that most of these issues show up after the washer's been in service for a few years. It's not usually something you see on brand new units. The good news is that once you fix it, these washers typically run great for years afterward. That's how you tackle the TE error code on LG washers. Here's your action plan. Step 1, try the restart fix first. It works 30% of the time. Step 2, test and replace the thermistor if needed. This fixes about 50% of remaining cases. Step 3, check the heating element. Step 4, inspect all wiring connections. And finally, if nothing else works, consider the control board. Remember, 80% of TE codes are fixed with steps 1 and 2. Way cheaper to fix it yourself than calling someone like me out for a service call that could run you several $100. If you guys know someone who's having appliance troubles, please send them the link to this video or a link to my channel where I have tons of other videos showing how to fix pretty common issues with appliances, sometimes for free or as little cost as possible. It sure beats having a repairman come out and spending several hundred for them to fix it when it could be something so simple. If this helped you get your LG washer working again, hit that like button and drop a comment below. Let me know which fix worked for you. Really helps other people with the same problem. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. We'll get this out to more folks who need to save some time and money. Thanks for watching, and I hope you guys have a great day.